Hello everyone, Speedrunner 0-18 here, and welcome back to episode 13 of the Pokemon Speedrun Analysis series, where we see how fast a Pokemon can potentially beat a certain game. Before we get started, thank you all for 600 subscribers. This redo of my Kanto Birds race with the new rule set is a thank you for all of that. Also, the 9th was my 20th birthday, so this is also my 20th birthday special. This video will probably be a day or two late, but it's not a big deal, I don't care. The next subscriber special we'll be doing is the redo of my Mew vs Celebi race. This race will be done once we hit 800 subs, and then the Johto Beast race will be at 1000. Leafgreen won't be the only game I do races in, but I'm just saving the redos as sub specials. Now, let's get on with the video. In the previous episode of the Speedrun Analysis series, we did Poochyena and Pokemon Leafgreen, and Poochyena is basically one of the worst Pokemon ever created. The only reason it did as good as it did is because Psychic types are useless in this game against a Dark type, but Poochyena's stats did not make up for it at all. In today's episode, we'll be doing a three-way race between the Kanto legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. All three of the birds have a base stat total of 580, but with different spreads. Articuno's best stat is Special Defense, and both Zapdos and Moltres have the best stat being Special Attack. However, Zapdos has better speed than Moltres, while Moltres has better attack. They all have a somewhat similar moveset by level up, especially with the start. They all get access to a weak stab move of Ember, Thundershock, and Powder Snow. They will also get a stab flying move, but with huge differences of power. Zapdos gets the weakest with a 35 base power Peck, Articuno gets 40 base power Gust, and Moltres has 60 base power Wing Attack. This should make the early game quite interesting, especially since all three of them are weak to Brock's rock type moves, but only Zapdos isn't 4 times weak to it, so they may all have to grind. But how much grinding they need could make or break this race. They all get some interesting moves via TMs as well. They all get access to Aerial Ace, which will be very helpful on Koga, and Rival 5's Charizard as well since it has Smokescreen. Before we start, if you happen to like this series and would like to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me on our journey to 1000 subs. Now, let's get into it. 3, 2, 1. Go! Compared to my last Kanto Birds race, I'll be covering them differently. Instead of talking about the entire run of one bird and discuss the next one, I'll do all three of them at once and we can compare their split times. The splits we'll be using is Brock, Surge, Poke Flute, defeating the 7th gym, and the time upon challenging the league. Now, let's start with Articuno. Articuno starts off with Gust and Powder Snow. It gets the middle flying type move of the three being Gust. Charmander is just a simple Breeze with Gust. Breeze. Gust. Breeze. Anyway, after doing the parcel crap and catching a Pidgey and Rattata, I defeated Rival 1A by spamming Powder Snow on Pidgey and Gust on Charmander, and I defeat every bug catcher in Viridian Forest for experience. Even though Articuno is the only one of the three who have a super effective move on Brock, Articuno is still 4 times weak to Rock. Plus, even if I survive a Rock Tomb, it'll lower my speed, and then Onix could kill me the next turn. When I routed out all 3 Kanto birds, I would enter a fight at different levels until I found a level where I would semi to pretty consistently defeat the enemy trainer. All 3 birds have different levels they need to be. Articuno needs to be level 13 where it learns its next move, Mist. This move is going to give Articuno a massive advantage compared to the other two, since Mist is basically a guard spec, so if I use Mist, I could prevent stat drops. In my old Kanto Birds race, since I allowed X items at the time, all 3 of them had guard specs, but this time, only Articuno will. Once the grinding is over, Articuno defeats the junior trainer to get to level 13, learn Mist, and spam Powder Snow on Brock after setting up a Mist, and Articuno achieves a Brock split of 9 minutes and 4 seconds. Now it's Zapdos' turn. Zapdos starts with the weakest of the flying moves, Peck, but it does get access to Thundershock. Electric is generally known as a good type in Kanto, That may have been true in Gen 1, but not so much anymore in the remakes due to the abundance of actually good rock moves and ground attacks. Zapdos doesn't have to worry about ground, but it does have to fear rock. While the parcel crap is done for Zapdos, I'll explain some stuff about it. The good news is, Zapdos is only 2 times weak to rock, so it wouldn't need much training for Brock, right? Wrong. Peck is Zapdos' only way of damaging Brock unless I want to train all the way until I get Drill Peck, which is not happening. Peck will just have to do. But how high of a level does Zapdos need to be to consistently beat Brock? The answer is 19. You may think this is overkill, but look how little damage Peck is dealing. While Rock Tomb isn't doing too much, my speed gets lower and lower, and Onix gets more and more chances to attack me. Zapdos is able to win first try for a Brock split of 34 minutes and 49 seconds. Holy I did not think Zapdos was going to do that bad. Good lord. Now for the final contestant, Moltres. I highly doubt Moltres is going to get last place, but it definitely will not get first. It is still 4 times weak to rock and doesn't get a super effective move for Brock. Good news is that Brock's Pokemon have low special defense, so Ember can still deal good damage. While we do the parcel crap for Moltres, I forgot to go over something earlier. The kind of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres we went with. They all get the same ability Pressure. They are all genderless, so no attract exploitation unfortunately. They all have different natures though. Articuno I gave the Rash nature, which is extra special attack and less special defense. Articuno already has great special defense, so I don't mind losing a bit of that stat. And Articuno has the least special attack of the 3, so I thought this was the best nature. Zapdos gets the Brave nature, which is extra attack and less speed. Zapdos is already going to be outspeeding most Pokemon in this run, and we needed more attack, especially since Zapdos had to take down Brock with Peck just now. Finally, I gave Moltres the Lax nature, which is plus defense and minus special defense. Not often I give a defense or special defense boosting nature. The reason for this was it would help Moltres tank Rock Tomb better, so maybe I could get past Brock at a lower level than if I had normal defense or a minus defense nature. With that out of the way, let's skip Moltres' grinding session and see what level Moltres had to be for Brock. Moltres has to be level 15, just 2 more than Articuno. At this level, Rock Tomb is a 3-hit kill for Moltres. I'm confident this is due to my plus defense nature. This gives me a better chance of landing my Embers. Luckily, one of the Rock Tombs misses, and Moltres defeats Brock first try with a Brock split of 15 minutes and 7 seconds. Let's compare the Brock splits among all the Kanto birds so far. Articuno has a great lead over the other 2. Moltres is 6 minutes and 3 seconds behind, and Zapdos is 19 minutes and 42 seconds behind Moltres. This is not good for Zapdos at all. Moltres has the chance to catch up to Articuno, but Zapdos I think is in the fight for second place at this point. But you never know. Zapdos is very over-leveled, so maybe it'll do way better in the later points. Now, let's get to the Surge split. Now we're back to Articuno. Route 3 is very easy for Articuno. I battled all the trainers on Route 3 with the exception of the youngster down the ledge and the Jigglypuff lass. All 3 of the Kanto birds will need a lot of extra experience for later fights, so if I say I fight an optional trainer or 2, you know why. In Mount Moon, I get the rare candy for later, and then spam Powder Snow on the Rocket and Super Nerd. I could fight the Mount Moon trainers for experience, but I don't really think it's worth it unless a Pokemon really needs the levels for Misty or Rival 2. Just look at my Poochyena video for reference. After getting the Helix fossil, the better and faster fossil, I arrive at Cerulean City, get the rare candy, and I start with Rival 2 over Misty. On Rival 2, I set up a Mist on Pidgeotto to prevent Sand Attack and defeat it with Powder Snow. Now for Charmander. Charmander now has the move Ember, which will give Articuno a challenge. Charmander can go down to 3 gusts, but if Articuno ever gets burned, it's a reset. But that doesn't happen, and Articuno just dies to an Ember, causing its very first reset. On the second try, Articuno gets burned right away, so there's another reset. On the third try, I get past Charmander without dying or getting burned, so I win the fight. Dang, 2 resets on Rival 2? Man, I hope it gets better from here. I then heal at the center and do the Route 24-25 gauntlet. I fight the required trainers here only, but I do get the Elixir and Pecha Berry for later. This Pecha Berry and the one on the SS Sand are the only ones you can get without the Seve Islands or pickup, so this will be used later on. After getting the Ether and rescuing Bill, I head back to Cerulean, spam Gust on the bystander, heal at the center, equip the Person Berry I got at the Route 4 center, and battle Misty. Staryu goes down to 2 Gusts, but Starmie was a bit tricky to take down without her using a Super Potion. The combination of moves I was able to come up with in routing is Gust, Gust, Powder Snow, and Gust, and Articuno gets the knockout and obtains the Cascade Badge. On Route 6, with all 3 of them, I get the Citrus Berry and Rare Candy, and then Articuno defeats the Camper and arrive on the SS Sand. Right away, I go get the TM for Rest. It is usually not too helpful in the remakes, but Articuno is the only one of the 3 who needs it for the endgame. I'll let you know when that happens, but right now, it's time for Rival 3. I immediately reset since I forgot to teach Water Pulse, and then I fight Rival 3 for real. Pidgeotto goes down the same way as before, but Charmeleon can now go down to 2 Water Pulses, and everything else is easy peasy. I then get cut, get well rested, leave the ship, buy some Super Potions and Repels, teach Cut and Dig to Rattata, and enter the gym. I then defeat Gentleman Tucker with Water Pulse, and then heal to full, equip the Cherry Berry I got off the SS Sand, and then battle Lieutenant Surge. The legendary birds, except Zapdos, are weak to electric, so let's see how Articuno fares at him. The entire team goes down to Water Pulse, but Raichu is the MVP for Surge in this fight. He can use Thunder Wave, Shock Wave, or Double Team just to be an ass. However, my Cherry Berry is used up on Pikachu, which is not good. But that doesn't matter, as Articuno is able to shrug off the paralysis and achieve a Surge split of 24 minutes and 53 seconds. Not bad at all. Now for Zapdos' turn. Route 3 and Mount Moon were as easy as ever. I also fight the minimum required amount of trainers, as well as get the rare candy inside Mount Moon. After getting the Helix fossil again, I arrive at Cerulean, get the candy, heal at the center, and battle Misty right away. On her, I just spam Thundershock. Next. Rival 2 is even easier than with Articuno, since most of Rival 2's team is a 1 or 2 shot, and a burn from Charmander doesn't even matter. The Route 24 and 25 gauntlet was also very easy due to being overleveled. Zapdos is also the only one of the trio to get the TM for Secret Power. This will be Zapdos' main way of dealing neutral damage to electric types, and rock types as well, since Peck is not going to do that. I have the move Secret Power taught over Agility. None of the birds really need Agility, since they're all so freaking fast. Plus the badge boost glitch does not exist in this game, so no, we're not using Agility to raise our attack stat. After rescuing Bill, I spam Thundershock on the bystander, go down to Route 6, get the Citrus Berry and Rare Candy, defeat the Camper, and enter the SS Sand. I healed to full and fight Rival 3, which is just a simple sweep with Thundershock. I then get cut, the Trash Can Berries, the free heal, and leave the ship. I buy some Super Potions and Repels, teach Cut and Dig to Rattata, and I get the Versus Seeker right away. Zapdos has to do a biker grind before even having access to the bikers. In routing, the hikers in the Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet proved to be way too difficult at the levels I tried going at with them before. All this grinding isn't for Surge, it's literally to deal with Onix and Graveler in Rock Tunnel. In Gen 1, only the self-destructing hiker had rock types that you needed to defeat, but in the remakes, there are 3 hikers. The first one has just a Geodude, the second one has either 2 Geodudes and a Graveler, or 2 Onix and a Geodude depending on which one you want to fight, and the final self-destructing hiker, his Pokemon no longer have self-destruct, but in this game, Rock Throw is 90% accurate, so it's actually just as terrifying, if not more, than Rock Tomb. Cause yes, Rock Tomb is less accurate, but it can lower your speed, so they're both kinda scary. I do my Versus Seeker grinding on Route 6. The Bug Catcher with the Butterfree here gives over 600 experience and his Pokemon is a one-hit. Plus, all these trainers are right near the center. Alright, let's get this grind going. After grinding to level 34, I enter the gym, defeat Tucker with Secret Power, and then heal to full, equip Cherry Berry, and battle Lieutenant Surge. Zapdos, as I said earlier, is not weak to Electric, but Double Team and Thunder Wave can still f me over, so let's see how this goes. The fight is basically just spam Secret Power. Plus in this gym, the move has a chance of paralyzing, so getting that's always good. However, since Zapdos is really over-leveled for this point of the game, Raichu goes down in a snap, and Zapdos gets a Surge Split of 59 minutes and 22 seconds. That is really bad. But before we compare results, let's see how Moltres does. On Route 3 in Mount Moon, Moltres only fights the minimum required amount of trainers. After getting the Helix fossil for the third time in this video, please don't tell Scott what I did, I arrive at Cerulean City, heal at the center, get their candy, and fight Rival 2 first. He is just a wing attack spam, as well as most of the Route 24 and 25 trainers. Some of them I do use Ember on, such as the Geodude the Hiker has. After rescuing Bill, I spam wing attack on the bystander and I enter the gym. I healed to full, equip the Person Berry, and battle Misty. On her, I just spam wing attack. After that, I go down to Route 6, get the usual Citrus Berry and Rare Candy, defeat the Camper, heal at the center to receive the Versus Seeker for later, and I get on the SS Anne. After getting the Trash Can Berries, I battle Rival 3. This fight is also a flurry of wing attacks. I then get Cut, leave the ship, buy some Super Potions and Repels, teach Cut and Dig to Rattata, and enter the gym, where I spam Ember on Tucker, equip the Cherry Berry, and fight Surge. He is just an Ember sweep. But Moltres gets its first reset here due to bad luck with Paralysis and Double Team, but Moltres wins on the second try, and Moltres gets a Surge Split of 29 minutes and 1 second. Now let's talk about the splits again. Articuno still has the lead with Moltres close behind, and Zapdos is way in the back with no chance in heck of winning. But I also want to see who had the fastest Surge Split time. Articuno went from completing the Brock split to completing the Surge split in 15 minutes and 49 seconds, Zapdos was 24 minutes and 33 seconds, and Moltres was 13 minutes and 54 seconds. Moltres has the fastest Surge split, so it is gaining ground on Articuno, but will Moltres be able to gain more ground? Let's move on to the Poke Flute split. Just to change the pace of things, let's keep talking about Moltres. After getting the bike voucher, I get back to Cerulean City, get the bike, and battle the Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet of Trainers. Most of the trainers here were very easy. I do get the TM for Aerial Ace and teach it over Agility. I get Aerial Ace for all 3 birds, so this will be the only time I say it. The Rock-type Pokemon in Rock Tunnel were the biggest challenges, but Ember put them down in mostly 2 hits. After getting out of Rock Tunnel, I defeat the last because ever since Celio, I just don't have any trust that this bastard won't use Roar, so I just fight the other one instead. Upon arriving at Celadon City, I heal at the center and enter the Rocket Hideout. I get the Max Ether, Lift Key, and Rare Candy. I skipped the Calcium in here even though my notes say to pick it up. I didn't think it was a big deal at the time, but I think doing that was a huge mistake. I'll explain it later. Let's skip to the Giovanni fight. On Onix, I use a Fire Spin to do little damage every turn and then spam Ember. Rhyhorn is also an Ember spam. At least he doesn't have any rock moves. On his ace, Kangaskhan, I set up a Fire Spin and spam Wing Attack. However, I die to Kangaskhan, so I get another reset until I win on the second try. After that battle, I get the Silph Scope, dig out, get the tea, and go shopping. I get 8 Super Repels and 2 Irons as my vitamin of the day. I need all the defense I can get for those rock types. I then get the HM for Fly, teach it to Pidgey, and fight Rival 4 at Pokemon Tower. Good thing his Gyarados only has Thrash and Bite and no water moves, so Moltres had nothing to worry about. After giving the Marowak a living representation of hell by spamming Ember on it, I rescue Mr. Fuji from her evil grasps and obtain the Poke Flute for a final Poke Flute split of 44 minutes and 42 seconds, which is a segment time of 15 minutes and 41 seconds. Not a bad split at all, but let's see how the other ones do. Now for Zapdos' turn. Zapdos is in the fight for second place at this point, so let's see if Zapdos can make second place happen. The Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet was very trivial for Zapdos, but the rock types provided more of a challenge than it did for Moltres. Zapdos has just Aerial Ace and Secret Power to take him down. Zapdos defeats everyone on the first try luckily, as it arrives at Celadon City to do the Rocket Hideout. Not even Giovanni was able to cause a challenge for Zapdos, as Zapdos has 0 reset still. I wonder if this will last the entire run. That would be truly amazing. Now for the shopping. I get the usual Super Repels, and the vitamin of the day for Zapdos will be nothing. I used Gamehook at the time to check Zapdos' EVs, and Zapdos has no more room for any vitamins. So I just left, got Fly, spam Shockwave and Aerial Ace on Rival 4, and rescue Mr. Fuji to obtain the Poke Flute with a split time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 26 seconds, with a segment time of 14 minutes and 4 seconds. That gives Zapdos a faster Surge split than Moltres, but that's in part due to Zapdos' over-leveling in earlier splits. Now for the lead, Articuno's turn. The Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet was the easiest for Articuno. On all the rock types, Articuno can deal super effective damage with Powder Snow. After dealing with the Gauntlet, Articuno also deals with the Rocket Hideout easily and faces Giovanni. The rock types are pretty easy with Powder Snow, but Kangaskhan just seems to be difficult for all 3 of them except for Zapdos. Moltres had a reset on him while Zapdos didn't. Can Articuno beat Giovanni first try? Let's see. The Kangaskhan comes into battle, and Articuno just spams Water Pulse. While doing this, I hope for confusion, which I do get, and Articuno wins the first try. Articuno then gets the Silph Scope, digs out, gets the tea, and goes shopping. Articuno's vitamin of the day is going to be 2 calcium. Articuno needs all the special attack it can get, which I stated earlier with Articuno having the rash nature. Now for Rival 4. Rival 4 goes down to Powder Snow and Water Pulse, but Gyarados was a 3-hit since Powder Snow is only neutral to Gyarados. After drowning the Marowak with Water Pulse, I rescue Mr. Fuji from her grasps and obtain the Poke Flute with a time of 37 minutes and 57 seconds and a segmented time of 13 minutes and 4 seconds. So now, Articuno has the fastest flute split. Articuno is gaining more and more time compared to the other 2. Moltres is trying hard to stay caught up with Articuno, but Zapdos is still so far behind. Now for the split for defeating the 7th gym leader. Since the gyms for Erica, Koga, Sabrina, and Blaine can be fought in any order except Blaine cannot be the 4th, I'll go over Zapdos first, talk about the run like I usually do, and then on Articuno and Moltres, I'll only talk about the gym fights or anything else notable to save time. Let's get started. After obtaining the Poke Flute, I fly to Celadon City and do the Safari Zone crap. On Cycling Road, I do get the Rare Candy and Max Elixir, as I do with all 3 of the birds, and in the Safari Zone, I get the staple Full Restore and Gold Teeth. But for Zapdos only, I get the TM for Steel Wing. This'll be Zapdos' only way to deal super effective damage to rock types. After getting Surf, Zapdos' first stop is Erica. I defeat every trainer in here for the quick XP, and then Erica's just a spam with Aerial Ace. With 1 gym down, the next stop is Koga. If you have a move that never misses like Aerial Ace, Koga is very easy. But Zapdos has the easiest time since Muck can raise his defense with Acid Armor, but since Shockwave never misses and it's a special move, Zapdos doesn't even care about the boosted defense. The next stop on the itinerary is Silphco. I do the bare minimum here, equip the second Cherry Berry I can get access to, and battle Rival 5. This fight is very easy thanks to Shockwave dealing super effective damage on Gyarados, Pidgeot, and Charizard. However, Execute can live in Aerial Ace, which is what the Cherry Berry is for. But luckily, Zapdos got a critical hit, so I leave with the Cherry Berry in hand. Or I guess in foot, cause Zapdos has no hands. Next up is Giovanni. Zapdos gets its first reset here since I forgot to teach Steel Wing to Zapdos, but on the next try, Nidorino and Kangaskhan go down to Shockwave, while Rhyhorn goes down to Steel Wing. Nidoqueen gets taken down with Aerial Ace spamming. I do get another reset on this fight due to getting poisoned real early on, and I didn't want to deal with it since I didn't know how much longer the fight was going to go on for. After causing millions of dollars of damages to Silphco, I go fight Sabrina. On her, I just spam Aerial Ace. Having a physical move and outspeeding her just makes her a joke. After getting the Marsh badge, I go back to Silphco since I forgot Lapras, teach it Surf and Strength, get the Boulder Candy, and surf to Cinnabar Island to enter the mansion. I defeat Scientist Braden to get the rare candy he guards, as well as the secret key, and then I dig out to go battle Blaine. He is just a sweep with Shockwave. Since his Growlithe and Arcanine have Intimidate, it is usually not worth using physical moves in this battle, but Arcanine can still be a pain in the butt. I tried to do this fight without getting to level 49, since I wanted to save the rare candies for grinding later, but I decided to just follow my notes, which they're in the description of all my speedrun analysis videos, and I just candied a level 49 to learn Drill Peck. I don't level up on here to learn Drill Peck, I just happen to learn it at this level. I'm at this level, so that way Shockwave is not a range on Growlithe or Ponyta. I then finally defeat Blaine as the 7th gym leader for a split time of 1 hour, 30 minutes and 14 seconds, and a segment time of 16 minutes and 48 seconds. Now for Articuno. After getting the Poke Flute, I get the return TM, even though I didn't end up using this. I have no idea why I even put it in the script. I didn't even use it. I then do the Safari Zone crap, getting the exact same items as before, and do Erica's gym. I also fight everyone in here for the XP, and then spam Aerial Ace on Erica herself. Next up is Koga, but before that, Articuno struggles with Koga, because in routing, Muck's Acid Armor would ruin the HP Aerial Ace dealt, since that is the move I have to kill it with. I grind on the bikers until level 40, which is Articuno's first grind besides Brock, which all 3 of them had to do. At level 40, I go enter Koga's gym, defeat his juggler, use 4 rare candies to get to level 44, which is the bare minimum level I have to be for Koga, equip the Cherry Berry, and then fight Koga. Coughing goes down to 2 Aerial Aces, and Muck goes down the first try to 1 Powder Snow and 2 Aerial Aces. While Koga did use Acid Armor, Articuno was able to score a crit, saving me a ton of time, and possibly even a reset. His other Pokemon go down easy from there. Next up is Rival 5. On Pidgeot, I use Mist to avoid Feather Dance, and I take it down with Powder Snow. Charizard is down with 2 Water Pulses, and the Mist also protects me from his Scary Face, and everything else on his team goes down to Aerial Ace. Giovanni is now next. He is just a Powder Snow spam. Sabrina is an Aerial Ace spam. And now it's time for Blaine. What? You thought he would be a Water Pulse spam? Well, technically yes, but it's not that simple. Due to Articuno being weak to fire, Articuno struggles here. I can only survive 1 Fire Blast, and Blaine has the chance to use 2 of them. So I need a fight where either I crit a Water Pulse for an early kill, have the enemy hit itself in confusion from Water Pulse, or just flat out have it miss. This scenario only takes 3 resets luckily, and Articuno gets a split time of 1 hour, 3 minutes and 38 seconds, and a segment time of 25 minutes and 41 seconds. That is not a good segment time, but this is mostly due to the resets. So it looks like Zapdos gained quite a bit of ground, but definitely not enough for first place. But now, it's Moltres' turn. After Koga, I do the Safari Zone crap, but this time I get the TM for Sunny Day. This will help Moltres' Flamethrower do 50% more damage at the Pokemon League. After doing that, the first stop is Erica. All three of them seem to be doing the major fights in the same order, which is quite interesting. I did not intend it to be like this. I do Erica's gym basically the same way as the other two, including defeating every gym trainer. Then I get out and grind on the bikers until level 46, since Moltres will struggle against Koga and Rival 5 without being that level. I also don't use any of my rare candies for this, since it was during Moltres I decided, you know what, maybe I should save my rare candies for the endgame biker grind, and not use them now. So that's what I decided to do. I wish I did it with the other two as well, but I highly doubt saving rare candies would have helped Zapdos, and Articuno already has a huge lead. After grinding to level 46 without using rare candies, I battle Koga. I use Ember on his coughing, Aerial Ace his muck, Ember his 2 coughing, and then spam Ember on wheezing. But I was prepared to use Aerial Ace just in case wheezing used Smokescreen. Next up is Silphco. I actually get the protein on the 5th floor behind the locked gate, as well as the hidden one on the 3rd floor, since I want Moltres to gain more attack EVs, and I battle Rival 5. On Rival 5, I spam Wing Attack. I'll just say that Wing Attack and Aerial Ace have the same base power, but I'm just keeping Wing Attack as well, so when I do the endgame grind, I'll have more attacking moves to grind with. On Gyarados, I spam Wing Attack. Charizard, I use Aerial Ace due to the potential for Smokescreen. Execute, I then use Ember on since Aerial Ace won't kill, but since I never got hit with a Smokescreen, there's no risk to miss, so I just use it. And I enter Alakazam at Red Bar. But in this fight, Alakazam only has Future Sight as an attack, so I'm able to win. Phew. If he had Psybeam or something like that, that could have been a reset. Giovanni, on the other hand, was very easy. Even his Rhyhorn is easy with Ember. After getting the 10th floor rare candy, which I got with all 3 of the birds to help with grinding for later, I dig out. Sabrina is next, and she goes down with Wing Attack. It's funny how at this point, Articuno and Zapdos have Aerial Ace as their flying move, while Moltres still mostly relies on its starting flying move Wing Attack. I just find that quite funny. After I get the Braden rare candy and the secret key on Cinnabar Island, I go battle Blaine. I now have Flamethrower, which I taught over Ember. This move is really good, especially against other fire types, due to how good Moltres' special attack is. On Blaine, I defeat Growlithe, Ponyta, and Rapidash with Wing Attack, and on Arcanine, Flamethrower will actually do more damage due to my attack being dropped 2 times with Intimidate. I defeated Blaine on the first try and get a split time of 1 hour, 14 minutes and 25 seconds, and a segment time of 29 minutes and 43 seconds. That is the worst segment of all of the birds so far, but that is mainly because during the biker grind, I didn't use any rare candies to get from level 40 to 46, and I just grinded it instead. We are now in the endgame, folks. I'll talk about how Giovanni and Rival 6 goes, and we'll just go from there. At Giovanni, Articuno just spams Ice Beam, which Articuno also learns at level 49, and I teach it over Powder Snow. And then I use 1 rare candy and fight Rival 6. On Pidgeot, I use Mist and Ice Beam, and then everything else on his team will either go down to Ice Beam, Water Pulse, or Aerial Ace. With Zapdos, I use Steel Wing on Giovanni's Rhyhorn, and Drill Peck everything else. Then, on Rival 6, I use Shockwave on Pidgeot and Gyarados. On Rhyhorn, I use Steel Wing. On Execute and Alakazam, I use Aerial Ace. And on Charizard, I use Shockwave once again. With Moltres, I spam Flamethrower, but when I actually remember to do it, I'll use a Wing Attack so that way I don't put anything into heal range. For Moltres, I won't talk about Rival 6 yet, and I want to explain why. I'll be talking about the final part of the game, the endgame biker grind. Every one of the Kanto birds has to be a certain minimum level for the start of the Elite Four, which is the next split we'll be looking at before the final one, at the defeat of the champion. Articuno and Zapdos do their grind after going through Victory Road, so that way they can fly back to the league when they're ready. But for Moltres, I decided to do the grind first before Rival 6. During all 3 of them, I would grind on the bikers on Route 16 for levels, but I did experiment with other locations, such as the group of trainers on Route 15. During my free time, I'm going to be finding the best place in this game to grind, because the Route 16 bikers, only the ones with wheezing are worth fighting, and on Route 15, there's a Pidgeotto that can use Whirlwind, which would be extremely bad. Now, let's discuss the minimum level everyone has to be and why. For Articuno, I have to be level 69, nice, after using all my rare candies. This is actually a normal level for a solo mon to take on the league. The reason for this level is mainly because of Lorelei. I have no good moves for her Pokemon and she's a pain in the butt to take down. Articuno has the hardest time with Lorelei due to this reason. For Zapdos, I have to be level 72 after rare candies. This is mainly due to Lance. His dragon types are very bulky and can easily have me dead, especially Dragonite. It doesn't help Lance's Gyarados has Intimidate, putting my attack at 2/3 of what it's supposed to be. For Moltres, I have to be level 74 after candies. This is the highest by far of the 3. The reason is also Lance and his dragon types being bulky, but actually, Aerodactyl is Moltres' biggest problem, since he'll use Scary Face to allow his other Pokemon to outspeed me. Plus, Ancient Power does so much damage. I have to be this level since even after a Scary Face, while Aerodactyl can outspeed me, his other Pokemon won't be able to as I'll be barely above their speed. With that reasoning out of the way, let's get to the grind. Finally, with the grinding done, after they all buy their full restores and heal at the Pokemon Center, Articuno saves for the final 5 trainers at a time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 54 seconds, with a segment time of 28 minutes and 16 seconds. Zapdos saves for the final 5 trainers with a time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 1 second, and a segment time of 37 minutes and 47 seconds. And finally, after doing the biker grind and defeating Rival 6 pretty easily, Moltres saves for the final 5 trainers with a time of 1 hour, 46 minutes and 11 seconds, and a segment time of 31 minutes and 46 seconds. Moltres is still a steady second place, Articuno in the far lead, and Zapdos is at the 2 hour mark. But let's see how the final 5 trainers go. Let's do this shit! On Lorelei, Articuno spams Aerial Ace on Dewgong, and then Ice Beam on Cloyster when it isn't spamming Protect. On Slowbro and Lapras, I have to take them down with Aerial Ace, but since it takes forever and full restores are going to be used, Articuno has the move Rest to restore HP since they can't do too much to Articuno. Zapdos just spams Shockwave. I don't know what you were expecting. Moltres starts off Dewgong with Sunny Day, Flamethrower, and then Sunny Day again since this Dewgong will keep trying to use Hail. Forget Groudon and Kyogre, this is the real weather match right here. And once Dewgong is down, everyone else goes down to more Flamethrowers boosted by Sunny Day. On Bruno, Articuno sets up a Mist on Onix to prevent the speed drop from Rock Tomb, and then uses Ice Beam on the Onix and Aerial Ace on everything else. Zapdos uses Steel Wing on the Onix and then Drill Peck on the rest. Even with a speed drop from Rock Tomb, Zapdos is still way too fast to get outsped. Moltres sets up Sunny Days and spam Flamethrower. I don't know what you were expecting. On Agatha, Articuno takes down the first Gengar with Aerial Ace to ignore her double teams and then spam Ice Beam on the rest. Zapdos just spams Shockwave. Moltres takes down her first Gengar and Golbat with Flamethrower. And on Arbok, Sunny Day is set up and Flamethrower boosted by the sun is enough to take down her team. Now for the main reason some of the birds had to grind. Lance. Articuno had it easy here and just spams Ice Beam. Gyarados takes a couple of tries, but he isn't really threatening. Zapdos takes down Gyarados and Aerodactyl with Shockwave, and the Dragonairs go down with Drill Peck. For Dragonite, to prevent him going into heal range, I use one secret power first and then spam Drill Peck for the win. Figuring these out is kinda hard with the Citrus Berry that Dragonite is holding, but whatever. Moltres uses one Flamethrower, Sunny Day, and then a boosted flamethrower to take out Gyarados without putting it into heal range, and then Aerodactyl goes down with a few flamethrowers. On Dragonair, I set up another Sunny Day and spam flamethrower. This fight takes a few tries since Aerodactyl is still a pain in the butt. Now for the champion. Who will win second place? Since we all know who's gonna win this thing. Articuno sets up Mist on Pidgeot to prevent sand attacks and takes it down with Ice Beam. Everything else goes down to either Ice Beam or Aerial Ace. Charizard is still threatening since it's only a range to go down in 2 Ice Beams, but Articuno wins the fight first try for a final real time of 1 hour, 39 minutes and 23 seconds, and a game time at the Hall of Fame of 4 hours and 26 minutes. For ranking, I don't count the in-game seconds, I just show what's at the Hall of Fame, since it really makes no difference due to the game running at 3 times speed. Zapdos takes down Pidgeot with Shockwave, Rhydon with 2 Steel Wings, and then Drill Peck for Alakazam and Exeggutor, and then I use a Shockwave on Gyarados and Charizard as well. But for Charizard, it has to be a high roll to kill, but we don't get it, so the champion ends up burning through all of his full restores before I finally knock it out and get a real time of 2 hours, 14 minutes and 15 seconds, and a game time at the Hall of Fame of 6 hours and 9 minutes. And finally, we have Moltres. This fight takes many tries, since due to me not getting the calcium at the Rocket Hideout, I'm missing ranges on Rhydon more often than I was in routing. And if Rhydon survives a flamethrower, I get hit with Rock Tomb, not only doing huge damage, but allows his future Pokemon to outspeed me. Even Exeggutor the Pineapple, for crying out loud. On the winning attempt though, after getting past Rhydon without a speed drop, the next threatening Pokemon is Charizard, since we both can't do much damage to each other, and it's basically just a race to see who dies first. But Moltres wins and gets a real time upon defeating the champion of 2 hours and 4 minutes, and a game time at the Hall of Fame of 4 hours and 58 minutes. Getting 5 resets on the champion certainly was not good, and it jeopardized Moltres' hold on second place. Luckily, Moltres was still able to hold on to second place, while Zapdos is in dead last, and Articuno is our winner. Congratulations, Articuno, you win today's race. This race was a lot of fun to redo. It was a lot of work as well. There were parts that made me want to pound my head through a wall, such as the biker grinds and the Moltres champion fight. But in the end, this video is going to do great, and I'm glad I did it. Thank you all for 600 subscribers. Now, unless I break 800 subs overnight for the next special, the next speedrun analysis video will be Ivysaur and Pokemon Emerald. A Kanto middle stage starter in Emerald? That should be interesting. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next speedrun.